Hello Earthlings, Ultraviolet Ronald from the Bronx here. And for today, we're going to get into a 10-minute heart chakra meditation. But before we get into that 10-minute of focusing on the heart, one of the most important vessels and organs of the body, you must understand what it derives from. The heart, intuition. The heart, love, compassion, empathy. Now, when you have something blocking that, you're not able to fully express the love or the love you want to get back in return. Thus, getting anxious, becoming depressed, not feeling whole, or you can just have a good social relationship with the people that are around you. Now, when you do not have that, life just seems boring, dull, like you can't figure the world out, you can't get into good relationships, and that is a problem. So you have to go towards self-love before getting or giving the love outwardly. Now, what does that mean to have self-love? Self-love doesn't mean accepting your wrongdoings. That's not self-love. That is being accountable. To have self-love is achieving the highest form of yourself on all three levels: mentally, spiritually, and physically. Now, we could all look in the mirror and we don't like the body we see and just say, I love the way I am. And then that delusion starts to build up and you just accept it. But even though others may not like what they see and they're going towards a healthy life, or you may not like what you see, they make themselves believe that what you're doing is correct, and you make yourself believe what you're doing is correct. And you're not being truthful, you're being dishonest with yourself. And that is a problem, because in return, when you're dishonest with yourself, you start to become dishonest with other people. And that's not a good thing going through this life to have, because when you do that, you're just living in a lie, and you're living in a vacuum of people who just agree with everything you say, and in return you do not get better. The whole purpose of being here on this planet is to go towards individuality and get to that highest form of self, get to the ultraviolet. That's what I want you to get to. But you have to understand what others are going through, empathize with those people, and then in return be that beacon of light for your peers, your family members, your friends, because by you taking care of yourself and they see how disciplined you are, you make others feel like they could do the same thing too. Because it's very hard. I mean, we're in a society where it's very easy for us to be lazy. We have all of these streaming services on demand at the click of our finger. So it's easy to get into that cycle of just repeating the same things habitually. That's not going to do anything good for us. I don't want you to get into that cycle, but in order for you not to get into that cycle, you have to do things repetitiously, ritually, every morning, midday, and at night. By you doing that, you're going to build up the courage, you're going to build up the confidence to take care of yourself. What that means? So basically what that means is 10 minutes in the morning you're setting aside, maybe for some core training, maybe for some push-ups, maybe for some pull-ups, some dips, some sit-ups, maybe just going for a quick little 10-minute run. Something like that. Meditating for 5 minutes. Not a long time, 10, 15, 20 minutes. Just 5 minutes. And then you're drinking some good juices, like 4 to 5 different type of fruits incorporated into that juice to feel revitalized, feel alive, feel open, feel ready to go. And another thing you're doing is having a good breakfast, or you could be fasting and waiting, because sometimes it's good to fast for a long period of time because you're cleansing out all the negative toxins that may be in your body, because you don't need to eat as often as the FDA or as often as people make it seem like you need to eat. You don't need to eat 3 to 5 times a day. You can eat 2 good meals a day and have either shakes in between or little snacks, but you don't have to have 4 to 5 full course meals to get the body that you want. There's no need for that. And at the same time, you need to have a good social circle, people that hold you accountable, and thus you hold yourself accountable, because that is the only way you're going to get to the heart chakra being where it needs to be. Because when that energy blockage is there, you get heart attacks, coronary heart disease, strokes, you get problems with your lungs, you don't feel like yourself, clogged arteries. That all derives from what? Your eating habits, the circle that you have around you that's not making you do things that you need to do to better yourself as a whole or an individual. That is a problem, and this is the society in this vacuum that we live in. You know, we just have this echo chamber of people allowing us to just be degenerates, allowing us to not live to our potential, and allowing us to accept a mediocre life. That is not a life you want to accept, because when you start to go down that rabbit hole, you get depressed like no other, and that could lead to self-deletion, and I do not want that to be you. So by taking care of this heart chakra, this spirit that is residing in this center of your body, you start to see the beautiful picture of what life can be. You understand that you are just a microcosm in this beautiful thing called the universe, or this world that we live in. And when our soul leaves this planet, it gets ejaculated back into the universe, thus continuing that cycle. But in order for you to feel whole while you're living in this temporary body, this vessel, you have to do things that goes towards individuality. You have to do things that are hard. But when you do those things that are hard, hey, that long road ahead of you gets a little bit easier, inch by inch. Now, you don't have to try to do everything at once. Take baby steps to get there. But life is not a sprint, it's a marathon. So all of the things you do now is going to be directly correlated into what happens in the future. So the stuff you do now could be consequences for things that are happening later in your life. Karma is a thing. Karma is a nice way of telling us, if you're not doing the right or appropriate thing, something's going to come back to bite you. And I don't want that something to be a life-threatening illness. I don't want that something to be a ruined marriage. And I don't want that something to be disconnection from the people around you. That's why it's very important to take care of the heart. Have self-love, real self-love. Not just accepting BS that is around you. Not just accepting this person that you see that's not living to his fullest potential. I don't want you to be that person. I want you to get your spirit in alignment. I want you to be physically great. And I want you to feel like you can do anything you put your mind to that you are good at. Remember that. Now, before we get into this 10-minute meditation, I want you to cleanse your soul by beating on your chest. Cleanse your soul of all of that negative energy. Flush it away. Flush it away. Flush it away. Cleanse your soul. All right? Now start to rub on this area and build up that energy. And when you're meditating and you close your eyes, you're going to focus all of that energy right here and say to yourself, I love me. I love this world, and I want to give back to that world by being my greatest version of myself. Because when you get in a sense of the ultraviolet, others feel like they can get out of their problems, out of their hardships too. But you have to be that beacon of light, and you have to believe. So close your eyes, find a nice place on the floor, put your hands on your knees, and let's begin. Thank you for joining me on getting to that level of the ultraviolet, the highest level of consciousness, and understanding that openness is the Earthling's way. Now, if you liked the video, please subscribe. But other than that, stay with peace and love, everyone.